Wonderful morning to you out there. It's really great to have you join us, dear listeners, this morning on the Break It On Papers Review. And of course, it's a Saturday, 2 minutes past the hour of 6. And we're going to be looking at some of the national dailies, the front pages this morning, and also taking a review of what is breaking in Nigeria. And today is Edo elections. We're also expecting that all resources will be put in the right channel and having all hands on deck to ensure that it's a hitch-free process. And Edo decides, we are also wishing the people of Edo State safety on the field of voting this morning. All right, we'll take a look at the Punch newspaper. Of course, my name is GBOLABO, famous school. I look at the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, quite a number of headlines, and this says, I was asked to pay bribe for FCC job slots. That's according to Bara. Adesonya visited Nigeria to activate African power. That's according to Gordon's. Starving Ogun leprosy community cries for help as robbers loot homes. I cried when teacher labeled the disabled money waster graduate with cerebral palsy. And Abia woman sells newborn twins, traffickers caught in Lagos. The big story here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Edopol Ugodolo Okpebolo, a quarter battle for 2.2 million votes today. Tinubu's minister under fire for alleged link with bandits. Ahmed chosen, Khan forms over exam malpractice testimony. And fans raise concerns over Zinolewski's apparent career. I realized my relationship was abusive after first lap. Mona Lisa Stephen coming up with that, and that's a bit of entertainment. Labour kicks as federal government backdates minimum wage implementation to July. And more here on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, taking a look at the Metro Plus page. And here we have 20 rifles recovered as police arrest gun running syndicate. Overwhelmed by challenges, man attempts suicide on Third Mainland Bridge. Businessman jailed for issuing false documents. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Punch newspaper front page this morning. And of course, we take this one as the last one. CBN withdraws monetary policy document. Now, looking at the Daily Post this morning, the Daily Post too has some headlines. Fuel price hike. Nigerians buy petrol at 1,100 naira per litre. And that's it. Saying most filling stations in the Federal Capital Territory have implemented the premium motor spirit third pump price hike under this administration. Some government officials should be in prison. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is talking tough there. Abuja court dismisses suit seeking to replace 27 pro-Wike lawmakers. And Rivers State, Edo Guba, 24 hours to D-Day. No sign of election as residents go about normal activities. And that appears to be like outdated because obviously today is the D-Day. And expecting that voters will come out. Okay, again, APC loses battle to disqualify PDP candidate Godolo in Edo Guba. All right, more stories here on the Daily Post. Before we take this breather, we also have this one. I didn't become president for money. Nigerians gave me their votes. That's according to President Tinubu. Court ruling on decamped Rivers lawmakers evokes anger. And here more says, use your positions to attract developmental projects. Olubadan charges new chiefs. Governor Bagos signs MOU to set up 6 sugar mills in Niger. Food security. Delta communities ban Fulani herdsmen from grazing. And Edo Guba, soldiers repel thugs from invading INEC office. All right, it's still the Break It On Papers review here on your Laughter Dial 32 FM 94.9, and we're taking a review of some of the national daily front pages this morning. And here is Daily Trust with its headlines: Thieves can't provide good governance. Olusegun Obasanjo, I'm not in Aso Rock for money. That's according to President Tinubu. D-Day for Edo. Campus insecurity: 28 students killed, 78 kidnapped in 20 months. And voters speak on expectations. Still talking Edopo, Yaga Africa list 8 LGs as violent hotspots. We will accept result if PDP, APC, LP give conditions. And here we have thugs planning to attack INEC officers. Edo government raises alarm. Still here on the front page of the Daily Trust, we have other headlines. Let's take a look more here on the front page of the paper. And it says, Badume, Kano market where onions attract foreigners. PDP leadership crisis deepens. And in sport, NPFL, Pillars, Remo Stars orders take unbeaten run. Sugar master plan targets $5 billion investment. That's according to NSDC. Campus insecurity, okay, we took the earlier. Foreign reserves rally $2.35 billion in 7 months. That's according to the federal government. Outstanding pension liabilities to be cleared soon. Pencom DJ giving that breakdown. And of course, we have Tinubu and Homely from General Abdusalami Abubakar. All of that, some of the headlines here out of the Daily Trust this morning. Taking a look at the Vanguard, quite a bright one here. We have Edo Guba who succeeds Obaseki, and that's with a question mark. 1 million naira reward to 26 military men who ended Alilu Sububu's terror reign, not acceptable. Edo do or die, Guba all eyes on INEC police. More latest news. Toje group raises concerns about Zamfara's response to banditry. Nigerian lecturer seeks to shatter Guinness World Record with 150-hour marathon lecture. More here says only 13,000 police officers deployed to tackle banditry in Nigeria, says DG. Okay, we have how INEC can rescue its battered image, coming from Yaga Africa. Edo the past, present, and potential intrigues. And more here says, Mr. President, this arrangement is not sustainable. And there's a bit of feature here on the front page of the Vanguard. And we have here Edo Guba who succeeds Obaseki. That's a question mark. Edo election, Mercy Johnson's husband escapes assassination attempt. And a lot more with politics, how INEC can rescue its battered image earlier taken. Edo election work together to ensure peaceful process. Tinubu charges all political bigwigs in this election. Court declines to order by-election to replace 27 Rivers lawmakers. These are some of the headlines here out of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, we take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and this is a video. It says, I didn't come to exploit Nigerians, I came to work. Now, President Tinubu saying that. What a breaking news. Federal government to backdate payment of new minimum wage to July 29. Controversy as NAS moves to rush new body to conduct LG elections. Heavy security presence in Edo ahead Saturday's Guba election is today already. That headline has been overtaken by event, obviously. Edo decides 2024 major things to know about popular candidates in the three-horse race. Congress, Kajuna, PDP debunks postponement reports. Oya financial institution empower 1,000 youths in various vacation. Foundation demands annual funding for Nigeria's low-carbon economy transition. Tinubu urged to nominate Teju Osho as humanitarian minister. UI extends payment registration deadline till Tuesday. Police rescue man from suicide attempt on 3rd Mainland Bridge. And that's a bit of some of the headlines here on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Let's take a look at The Nation. I came to work not to look for money, Tinubu. And we have this one. Federal government signs MOU with Russian firm to complete Ajaokuta steel coil. Cybersecurity level suspension stands, says Central Bank of Nigeria. 2027 Southwest APC begins preparation, holds strategic meetings October 5. Crisis is in DNA of PDP, APC tells Bauchi governor. Over $200 million needed to tackle humanitarian impact of flooding in Borno, and that is coming from Kalu. That's the House of Representatives Deputy Speaker there. And more here says global rise of African stories, voices on world stage, a bit of entertainment. Court puts Kaduna PDP Congress on hold. And here we have Amzat, Prince and Public Officer at 60. And this the front page of the Nation newspaper. With Monaco celebrate Ikenhena for breaking Mbappe's CL record. And these are some of the headlines here on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, we have Austin Odumo standing by already, but we also take a look at the cable this morning, the cable NG, and also get some headlines out of the cable before bringing Austin on board to do the analysis proper with us this morning. All right, a look at the cable report. Naira among 10 worst performing currencies globally due to economic challenges. More here says fake news alerts. Akpata denies withdrawing from Edo governorship race. APC to Bala Mohammed, crisis is deeply engraved in PDP's DNA. We are not responsible for your words. And Onanuga, Nigeria isn't delaying interest payments to savings bond holders. Defection court dismisses APP suit seeking sack of 207 pro-Wike lawmakers in Rivers Assembly. I came to Aso Rock to work, not for money, says Tinubu. NNPC, we are in talks with investors to revive Brass or Lokola LNG projects. And we have Jonathan to INEC, security agencies act as independent arbiters in Edo Giba election. Police rescue women over sale of newborn twins in Lagos. This is some of the headlines there. We'll take more here, and of course still on the cable NG, and more here says leadership crisis, Wike ally Damagum polarizes PDP governors. DHQ troops killed 159 terrorists, rescued 188 kidnapped victims in 1 week. And now we have NAFDAC shuts down Maiduguri market for selling drugs damaged by flood. All right, we'll bring Austin on board right about now to do the analysis proper with us. And of course, Austin, can you hear me? Good morning, Austin.
I can hear you, GBOLABO. Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, it's great to have you back on the Break It On Papers Review analysis this morning. Well, Austin, yes, I think we have to start with the Edo elections. There's so many things playing out ahead of the elections, assassination attempts. Then you also have this word of 3-horse race, like it's just about 3 people. And I know that there are over 10, more than 10 candidates in this election itself. And now we use that kind of word during our electoral process, meaning that sometimes we narrow it down to 2-party system or even 3-party system. But then what do we make out of these elections, and what are we expecting, especially from the security and those who are participating as candidates in this election?
Yes, we are expecting some level of thoroughness on the part of INEC, most especially. In my view, I think INEC does better in off-season election. 4 years ago, we were part of the team that witnessed the official launching and test run of the Beavers machine in Edo State, this same Edo election. Beavers was first of all officially introduced and test run as a pilot scheme for an election in the last 4 years in Edo State. So INEC has proven that they are set for this election. Apart from being set for the election, we also want them to address the issue of logistics, let materials arrive on time, Let vote when voters vote. Let the vote be counted. Let there be no manipulation. We must not also forget that INEC alone cannot single-handedly guarantee what is considered to be free, fair, and credible election. There are other critical stakeholders, chief amongst whom are even the politicians themselves, who want to make sure that they win at all costs. Before this election, I think during the week, a prominent politician made the comment that the election will be do or die. You know, when we get to that level, it becomes relatively unsafe for people to go out and vote. They're most likely going to be palpable tension. But on the part of INEC, I think all is said. One good thing about Edo is that for the first time, Edo has achieved over a little above 85% PVC collection. We have over 2.6 million registered voters. As I speak to you today, based on the statistics released by INEC, over 2.2 million voters have so far collected their PVC, which means that we are good to go. A lot of people feel that, oh, there's no need to vote. They simply go and collect PVC as a means of identification. You don't do that. You can't continue to criticize a system that you have refused to participate in. Out of 2.2 million, it will become ridiculous at the end of the day for less than 500,000 people to determine the next governor of Edo State, and the remaining over 1.5 or 1.7 million will criticize for another 4 years. So let people go all out to cast their vote. Security operative must do the needful. This is not the time to take side. Like you have said earlier, it has become like a 3-horse race. Despite the fact that 70 political parties fielded candidates for that election, it's always like that. Even in advanced country, we have like 2-3 dominant parties, as the case may be. So the battle majorly today is between the PDP, the APC, and the Labour Party. I think there was a news that broke yesterday that the Labour Party candidate purportedly withdraw, but Olumide Akpata, the candidate of the Labour Party, has reaffirmed his position and is stay on the ballot for today. Let the election be peaceful. We achieved it in Edo 4 years ago. It was seamless. The result was even declared beyond expectation. I think what time did we get to Ibadan? We flew from Benin to Ibadan. I can't remember the time exactly, but it was not a protracted period before results were announced, because from all indication, even before the election, a lot of people knew, because we were on ground before the election, and before the election, a lot of people knew that the will of the people will prevail. They know where the pendulum will swing. So let us not necessarily overheat the polity. Like I said earlier, it also depends largely on security operative. INEC, for example, they can't even defend themselves. Their own is to make provision and become available for election. But politicians have a way of causing problem. We also got a news that there was a particular, I think, collation center that Thug wanted to invade, but due to the intervention of men of the Nigerian army, they were able to foil that. If you are extremely popular and you have done the needful, campaigning and selling your candidacy to the people, people will have trusted you that, oh, you have something to offer. In my view, I think the best out of the 3 candidates should emerge for today. So we are warning politicians, let it not be do or die affair. Today, during and after the election, let there be peace. We can't have crisis because we want to have election. So I'm optimistic that by and large, INEC will do very well, and politicians will cooperate with INEC, and security operative must be unbiased. They should not allow themselves to be used as far as this election is concerned.
Well, Austin, let's take a look at this feature story coming out of the Premium Times, and that appears to be the big story here. Untold story of the fierce gun battle between EFCC and Yahya Bello, and this is looking like a war, getting Yahya Bello to answer to some of the allegations of corruption while he was governor of Kogi State. Now, this man has been evading arrest. He's been saying that certain conditions must be met. He wants to be tried in certain states, and so many like that, and change of lawyers. What do we say is the problem of Yahaya Bello or the EFCC here to actually have him answer to some of the charges? How do we answer some of these issues around the back and forth on whether Yahaya Bello should stand trial or not in terms of this corruption cases, allegations against him?
Well, unfortunately so, there is constitutional protection for criminal suspects in our law in Nigeria. So that is also not a happy matter. But as far as the case of Yahaya Bello is concerned, I think EFCC is the major issue here. EFCC is the one having the problem. When this EFCC chairman was appointed, people like us felt that, this probably could be like a paradigm shift because this fellow is not a police officer. How do I mean? I'm not saying that police officers that have led EFCC in the past have not done well. That is not the point I'm making. A lot of people feel that, because he's not a police officer, he's vibrant, he's knowledgeable, he has also worked as an investigator within the EFCC, he knows his onions and he will deliver. On the issue of Yahaya Bello, I think personally the EFCC chairman has not done well. There was a time he came out to make some statements about Yahaya Bello that were completely uncalled for. Yahaya Bello has been running and evading arrest. That is fine. Governor Ododo was accused of helping Yahaya Bello to evade arrest. That is point number 2. He was declared wanted by the EFCC, point number 3. Now, he lost his right not to be touched as far as the stay of execution order was concerned. EFCC has been able to vacate that order because EFCC didn't even do well in the first instance. EFCC attempted to arrest him while he was still having restraining order. The court have said repeatedly, whether you believe in a restraining order or not, you must seek to vacate that order before an arrest is made. 2 days ago, Ododo presented or escorted Yahaya Bello to the EFCC office. Yahaya Bello reportedly spent 4 hours in the EFCC office. They said the chairman was busy, that he should go, and once they need him, they will call for him or they will get him. He went back to Kogi State Government Lodge, only for this same EFCC to now go back there and wanted to arrest him. When the security detail of the governor resisted that, they now called for reinforcement and was now shooting sporadically. That does not make sense as far as I'm concerned. You declare somebody wanted. That same person that you have declared wanted, after some time, now walk into your office. He walked into your office, you kept him waiting for 4 hours that the chairman was busy. What is the business of the chairman with a suspect that is to be interrogated? That is the best place to arrest him. You take him to an interrogation room and you have the right to keep him. If you keep him that day, you can go to the court to get another of the court to continue to keep him. I don't think it makes any sense. Some people were telling me that Governor Dodo security operative may not allow EFCC to arrest him within the EFCC premises. Does that also make sense? It does not make sense. Somebody walked into your premises, somebody that you have declared wanted in the past, walked into your premises, you allow him to go. That action alone, in my view, I think EFCC does not want a form of dignity for Yahaya Bello. They don't want him to come. They prefer a situation where he will be arrested and it will make headlines, it will appear on the pages of newspaper, on the television that Yahaya Bello has been arrested. In my view, that is not professionalism. Professionalism demands that anybody that you have declared wanted that you are expecting, once the person comes, you have the right and opportunity to seize the person. That is the way EFCC operates. I don't look at the case of Fayose. It's a case of the case of Fayose. Fayose had to go because they made a lot of noise about Fayose, but he had to turn himself in. When he turned himself in, gradually, have you been hearing about the case today? The case was almost getting to a level of judgment. They had to go back again. Now the case is starting trial almost afresh again. So for me, EFCC should be more professional. I do not expect the chairman of the EFCC to be this petty and behave in this manner. Somebody came to your premises, you couldn't detain the person, you now allow him to go, you now send armed operative to where he lodged, and you started shooting, you started firing sporadically. Does that make any sense? We should get to a level of professionalism and civility. That reminds me of sometimes ago when they went to Rochas Okoracha's residence. They had to blow up the ceiling, blow up the roof, turn the whole place to a theater of war. Is that how to fight against corruption? I think EFCC does not serve any purpose again, as far as I'm concerned, because the case of Yaya Bello is another case of the like of Bello Adoke. They are going to lose this case at the end of the day because it shows that they are not ready as far as this case is concerned. They have made too many noise, too many trouble about Yaya Bello. Now you saw him in your premises. You even delayed him. He stayed there for 4 hours. Now EFCC spokesperson came out to say that, oh, he was not in their custody. Nobody asked whether he was in your custody. Nobody asked whether you detained him. Nobody asked whether he was in your cell. What people were, you couldn't deny, even the statement that was released by the FCC, they didn't deny that Yaya Bello did not come to their premises. They didn't deny that Yaya Bello did not spend 4 hours in their premises. They only said it's not in their cell. Of course, we saw him enter the office. We saw him leave the office. Nobody has raised the issue of whether it's in your cell. So for me, I don't think it makes any sense, because in terms of even cost, it is cost effective to arrest him, to detain him while he walked into your office, than to mobilize men and resources to go and track him or trace his movement. So EFCC should do better, at least.
All right, Austin, let's take a look at this headline from the Nation newspaper, and virtually some of the dailies to have same headline. I came to work not to look for money, and President Tinubu is explaining to Nigerians that he's not in Aso Rock for his own benefit, and he got the vote of the people to be at the Aso Rock. And we do remember that we had Dati, that's the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party at the last presidential election, calling out Tinubu to say that it was shady having him becoming president, even when the Supreme Court had already affirmed the presidency of Tinubu. Now, can we take Tinubu for his words, honestly, or is he saying the truth or lying to Nigerians here?
Well, time is a perfect gentleman. It's a matter of time. The president has said that is his own point of view. Like we have always known in Nigeria, all of our leaders, they always have good intention. But good intention is different from good governance. The president needs to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he has come to serve and to work for the people of the country. How do you do that? That will reflect in your policies and program. The policies and program of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is inflicting more pain than benefit on Nigerians. You know, there's this saying that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. How are we sure that we might even get to the end of the tunnel? Why? It is the person that gets to the end of the tunnel that will see the light. So which means between the beginning of the tunnel and the end of the tunnel, a lot of people may have been consumed. So the point I'm making is that this issue of hard work now, how does this issue put food on the table of average Nigeria? People are buying fuel 1,200 per liter. The president said he's building the future for us. He's building tomorrow for us. How do we even survive to see that tomorrow? That's the point, because Nigerians will find this statement very difficult. And I also see that statement as a form of reaction to what former President Olusegun Obasanjo said, that thieves, those that are supposed to be in Kirikiri, are now in government. So I believe that the president is also trying to react somehow to that statement, that, wow, I have come to work for Nigeria. Well, the president, in his personal view, he may be trying his best, but his best today is not good enough for Nigerians. So the president must double up. He must make frantic effort, take some audacious decision. You are doing reform. Reform is good. Reform is better at the long run. In advanced country, government come in, they put in reform that will bring dividends at the long run. But our economy is vulnerable. Our people, we are vulnerable. There is high level of multidimensional poverty in Nigeria before. Look at minimum wage, for example, 70,000 minimum wage. A civil servant who works in Dugbe, for example, who lives in Oluwo, will spend average of 2,000 to go to work every day, and will go to work like 20 days in a week. That is 40,000. Such fellow, would he eat? If he has a family of 5, himself, the wife and 3 children, how will he survive? You remove fuel subsidy, you promise to provide CNG buses. You made that pronouncement since last year, and you had to delay implementation until the value of the naira became almost worthless. So what are we talking about? Remove transportation from the pain of Nigeria, for example. The problem is half solved. That's the way I see it. Look at PMS, for example. Fuel is a security product. It affects everybody. I see people criticize those that are selling Iru, those that are selling F4, that does this thing have anything to do with dollar? Why are they increasing it? Those that are selling Iru, would they also buy something that has something to do with dollar? So fuel is a security product. The president must have known that. He has been in the oil sector for a long time. So you must work to ameliorate the suffering of the people. When people suffer too much, when enjoyment comes, it may not really make sense anymore. So the president has between now and next year to fix the problem. Why not get to a level
Austin,
where refineries will work?
Okay. Are we even expecting any enjoyment in any time soon? Because when you talk about enjoyment, it looks as if it's Uhuru, and we're going to get there very soon. And that's a part. Let's look at what you said about Obasanjo, and it takes us to the headline of Obasanjo. Some government officials should be in prison. Obasanjo coming up with that. Now, is he also shooting himself on the foot? Because if it's talking about the current government, now, would we say that the current government started this problem? Because this has been an age-long problem. We're talking about fuel scarcity and the instances of fuel subsidy, and this started age-long. Now, for a president, ex-president like Olusegun Obasanjo, is he helping the nation with some of the things that he's saying, or he's just trying to, get a soft landing with Nigerians with some of the commentaries he's made in recent times?
Well, before I talk about Obasanjo, for example, I'm an incurable optimist. So anytime, any day, I believe in better Nigeria. I believe in better tomorrow for my dear country, Nigeria. On the statement of Obasanjo, I think Baba Obasanjo is only re-echoing the obvious. He is saying the obvious. But however, Baba is not also a saint. Baba did a lot of things while in office that we can still point to today, in terms of reform, in terms of institution, and what have you. But there were a lot of good things that Baba didn't also do as a result of greed and political selfishness, the third time agenda. I read the book of former Senate President Ken Nnamani. He said all the reform that the National Assembly packaged together, because they rejected the third time agenda of Baba Obasanjo, he brushed everything aside. There were a lot of things that could have done us better. Was it because some people are in government, they are armed robbers today? That is why under this republic from 1999, we have not been able to have a functional refinery. Is it because those that are in government today, they are criminal? I agree. A lot of them that are in government today, they are supposed to be behind bar. Obasanjo also has a lot of things that he has not been able to account for. That's the issue. And some of these people that he's talking about today is because they are not in good time with him. If, for example, it's a government that, he can control, he can nominate people and what have you, he may not see anything wrong with that. For us to build Nigeria, all of us have to come together. Okay, if you say all of those in government today, they are armed robbers, they are thieves, what if they leave tomorrow? The next set of people that will come, as far as I'm concerned, there's no sense among the Nigerian politicians. They are almost all the same. They always have solution to Nigerian problem on two occasions, before they get into office and when they leave office. If by today in Nigeria we can be praising Buhari, it means that something, he said that something is wrong with us, or we are wrong with something. Because Baba Buhari said we are going to praise him when the time comes, that we are going to miss him. So that is as a result of systemic failure. That is my personal view. Obasanjo is saying the truth, but it's also part of the rot today. There is no how Obasanjo will talk about the National Assembly. I will continue to blame him. He is the one that instituted parliamentary corruption in the National Assembly. He is the one that officially instituted Ghana must go bribery in the National Assembly. He is angry today that National Assembly, they paid themselves, they appropriate allowances for themselves. Who started it? Who started it? This is what we are talking about. The corruption in the National Assembly and the corruption in government generally grow over time. It didn't start today. All we are asking for is that let the government of the day muster the political will and courage to cut some excesses. There are a lot of baggages that we are dealing with today. There is no fiscal discipline at the detriment of the common man. So that is what we are advocating for. It's not for somebody to wake up and say, everybody should go to jail. Some people will also point accusing finger to him and say, what of the power project? What of the money for the power project? If you have done that time, by today the issue of power will have been a forgotten issue. And go and check all around the world. The stability of power is a catalyst to industrial development of any nation. There is no nation that can effectively develop without relative stability in power supply, because power connects everything and it has a way of solving a lot of problems.
All right, Mr.
I think we should come together and build Nigeria rather than casting aspersion. Some people will say they are sent. Some people will say they can do better. If Tinubu had not been president of Nigeria today, he will still have all the solution to Nigerian problem.
All right, Austin, let's look at the schools now. We had University of Ibadan as one of the tertiary institutions in Nigeria, the Premier University. The student complaining about hike in the fees. Now they're saying that it's more than even 100% increment. And now, if you look at what Tunde Bakare is still talking about Obasanjo, he accused Obasanjo some years back, that was in 2014 here, saying that he killed student unionism. Now, there is no voice for the young persons who want, as a matter of fact, some kind of succor when it comes to their learning environment. Now, what would we say the UI authorities can do, because the student protested and he is saying that across board they can afford 200,000 to 300,000 school fees. Now, what do we say as some of the political leaning that the government can use in this process between the school and the government itself in addressing some of this? They are even saying the student loan will not work because most of them go on crowdfunding. So now, what do we say the government can do, looking at some of the trajectories Obasanjo is coming up with and what he's also done in the past in terms of accusation coming from the likes of Tunde Bakare?
Yes, one of the things the government can do is this student loan, create an enabling environment. See, if you look at 25,000 as tuition fee for university students, it is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. But 250,000, increment of 250,000 to 300,000 is outrageous. So let the UI management and all the university management, and by extension all the school management, GBOLABO, your own children, their school fees too has increased, except you don't want to say it. all the private schools, all the schools in Nigeria, their school fees has increased as a result of this fuel price. So from 25,000 to 250 to 300,000 is way too outrageous. Where would they get the money from? Do you see millionaires, multi-millionaires and politicians, do you see their children in federal university? Do you see their children in public university and public school? So let there be a middle cost. They have protested. Let the university management look into the issue. 25,000 is no longer sustainable. 50,000 is no longer sustainable. But let there be a middle point. 200, 250, 300,000 is too outrageous for a public university. In Nigeria, how do they get the money? Where are they going to get the money from? Of course, you need money to run these schools. You need money. You need to power the generator. You need to do infrastructure. You need to do maintenance. You need to do facelift. But you must not put all the burden on the students. It means that you want to kill them. And Nigeria is a place where there's high level of school dropout. We talk about increased enrollment in school, and we get to a situation where those that are in education is becoming unaffordable. A lot of parents are groaning, not even UI, not only university students, even private school. Look at what some private schools are doing. Go to Ibadan, school have just resumed. Go around, see what these private schools are doing. Private nursery, private secondary school, look at what they are doing. The economy is biting on all of us, not just some of us. You cannot, because in the name of running school, and you now pipe pressure on parents. You pipe pressure on a lot of people that cannot afford it. We are even talking about minimum wage of 70,000 for over 1,000 per liter of fuel. How do you expect people to make ends meet? How do you expect people to get this money? Over 80 to 90% of parents whose children are in UI and other public university in Nigeria are civil servants. I stand to be corrected. So where would they get the money from? Is it from 70,000 minimum wage? Government can come up with education loan and what have you. In advanced country, there is education loan. There's a level you get to, you'll be able to access some funds, you'll be able to access scholarship. Let government come up with various intervention programs. That is the only thing that can move us forward. But like I said earlier, 25,000 is way too ridiculous based on the economic reality of the present day situation, and 200,000 is abnormally outrageous. I will never support that. So let there be a middle course. If you are talking about 100,000, for example, 120,000, that is still understandable. But 250,000, how do you factor that? Government must look at education. Government must look at transportation. Government must look at health. Government should prioritize these three key sectors. When you prioritize these three key sectors of our economy, it has the capacity and the potential to drive all other sectors to economic prosperity of our country.
All those things, we have to pay some bills. Right about now, we'll be back shortly afterwards. Please do stay with us.
FM 94.9.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
Dear landed property owner, what if I told you that you could reach out to a radio station to sell your choice of landed properties without paying for adverts? Huh? You must think it's impossible, right? And not just any radio station, a radio station with millions of listeners, so your property can be sold as quickly as possible. Stop doubting Thomas. What's your name again? 32 FM, the laughter station, in partnership with Soft Sands Property, is bringing this offer to you. Yes, if you have a house or land in a choice location with appropriate titles and you want it advertised on 32 FM 94.9, 9 Ibadan. For quick sales and without paying a kobo, you can call or send a message to this number 0903 457 5628. Also, you can visit www.softsandsproperty.com to express your interest. Terms and conditions apply. Soft Sands, created to house the world.
If the question is, can you name a really unforgettable gaming experience? The answer is always Betano. Join now with fantastic betting options, cash outs, engaging missions, and a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira, plus many more exclusive features. Betano, the game starts now. Bet responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18. Proud partner of Aston Villa.
Hey, fans me.
It's okay.
Ẹ lọ sórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ní 32 FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀
Asafu. It's okay.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate.
Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to the Break It On People's Review here on your Laughter Die 94.9. And of course, Austin is still very much here. Austin, I want us to quickly comment on this before picking calls. That's fuel price hike. Nigerians buy petrol at 1,100 naira per litre, and this is the reality. Now, if you look at the prices in terms of changes here, it's so drastic. Like some of the analysis said, the price had moved from 238 naira in May 2023 to between 950 naira and 1,100 naira per litre in September 2024. Now, this is so alarming because one can't tell in the next 2-3 years how much you'll be getting a litre of fuel. Does it mean everybody will have to park their cars and do trekking or going through public transportation? What is the future of the country when it comes to fuel? Because that appears to be the sustaining energy for economy in the country presently.
If we get it right, I think the future is bright as far as fuel is concerned. Government is making frantic effort on CNG, which is a very good alternative. I don't want to believe that fuel price will continue to go up anymore. If that is the price without subsidy, what the government can now do is to attract more investors in the sector and look for a way to start bringing the price down gradually. I believe by October, God willing, the price most likely will also come down. May not be too drastic, but marginally. Because October 1st, the federal government will start selling crude to Dangote refinery in Naira. So anything that has to do with fueling and petroleum sector in Nigeria will now be denominated in Naira as from October 2024. So that will also help the situation to a large extent.
All right, Austin, we have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
GBOLABO, good morning.
Good morning, okay.
Austin, good morning. On Yahya Bello and EFCC, I have a question. Austin, I want to agree. I said 2 days ago, I said we don't understand it. One, if the man he came there, which we have all agreed on, doesn't mean that EFCC asked him to go without giving him I know if you get to a police station, self-recognition, even if they let you go, you're going. They will ask you to come back in a later day. Probably the EFCC realized that lapse, and they now wanted to do a face-saving issue, which messed everything up. So I think they are actually a disgrace, which is what they've been doing before. So now, and on Baba Obasanjo's issue, like you rightly said, all these things started with Baba, and I don't think he should actually come in now to start telling us. We remembered when Ghana was flying in the National Assembly. All this issue of peace and co. What happened to his own people too? What happened to when he was there too? Were they not also those same thieves? Are they not the ones that are still ruling? Good morning. He can't escape himself. Good morning. This is okay.
All right, thank you so much, okay, for that. The numbers again are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ade from UI.
All right.
Augustine is one of the very good landmen that I respect. But it's one of the airlines that I'm so much disappointed with. And that's why you are saying that if you that expecting something better about this man, he's one of those airlines that believe in this man. And I don't know why Augustine is like that. So if you look at the issue of the Rabilu's matter, somebody like Abadu, Wike, Tinubu, I can mention 70 cases regarding to play against them. So people like that in power, nothing can happen. On the issue of UI matter, I don't know why allies in this country cannot get Tinubu to order. I don't understand. It's not only UI, even go to OAU. A friend of mine sponsor himself in OAU. It cannot happen now. So the bottom line is that to Obasanjo, he has prepared ground for any good leader that has come. He has paid off all our debts from Paris law. He put people, he put KPIs in place. A government has to him that he was for himself. He got the president in peace. I don't know why you go hand over Nigeria to this kind of people, Buhari and Tinubu. I don't know that what came upon the matter. That's the best. I'm not. What about the rest of the day?
All right, Daddy. Okay, the numbers again are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. Nigerians are really passionate and vituperating here. Okay, hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, my name is 𝐃𝐈𝐒 from Malaka Shebo Road.
Okay.
I just want to comment on the Edo election that is coming today. I want to urge the electorate to vote for the competence, not to vote for the rookies. They should vote for who will give them the element of democracy. The political party, they should let the wish of the masses to prevail. The electoral empire should not give presidential cement to any political party, either opposition or government in power. Also, the journalists should give balance and objective reporting to the masses. I wish people of Edo is a rank-free election. Have a nice weekend.
All right, thank you so much, 𝐃𝐈𝐒. On Facebook, Honorable 𝐂𝐿𝐒 Camille Dakola says, anyone that is criticizing Tinubu constructively or unconstructively has 100% right to do so because the man I campaigned and voted for has not performed. His policies are totally different from what we know him for and are policies that makes Nigeria become poorer, adding more insults to injuries. Okediran Babatunde says, let the student go to court and challenge the increment in school fees. The loan is not the way out. How many students will have access to the loan? And that's a question mark. And he also says, private schools have increased their fees too, and parents are bringing their children to the public schools now.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, GBOLABO. Good morning, Austin.
Morning.
It's Chevin from Oyo.
Morning, sir.
All right.
Baba is telling us that many people should be in jail. He should be the grandfather of people in the jail. What about $16 billion electricity fund? What $2.8 billion from Baba Watimbelono Abacha? And $8 billion Mandela Plateau. That's number one. Number two, the politicians make us what we are today. There's no free education, free health service throughout the whole world. It's all these days. GBOLABO, we people that send our children to state university know what we are passing through. To go to Ogun State, Osho State, Oyo, last year has increased their fee last season from 140,000 to almost 400,000. The new University of Education in Oyo, almost 400,000. They now give us free education, free health services, so that we'll be lazy in doing things for our children. All their children that are in abroad, are they getting free education there? It's very unfortunate that from 25,000 to 350. It's very unfortunate. It is we people are causing about what you call it, petrol. There is secrecy between Dangote, NNPs, and federal government. They should tell us the bitter truth, what is happening. Have a nice time. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Shegun. There, Raji Afiz Abiola Raja on Facebook says, "Good morning, Bola Baba. Mr. President's statement about he's in office to work. We appreciate the statement, but the issue is not about talk and talk always, but it's about the programs you put in place." Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Olariwaju calling from Agbo.
Okay.
On the issue of education in Nigeria, even the loan that federal government has given to the university students. My question about that, or my comment about this, is that how many times they are going to enjoy this loan? Is it not just for once, or till they will finish their education? And the problem is that the loan is not cover all the students. The loan covers some students. Instead of the loan, why can't you give them something that is not a loan, that we give to all of them like a grant? That one will even better. When you are increasing the school fees, or the state and the federal government, what you are saying is that you don't want anybody to go to school, and you made this school to even, let's assume that you even increase. How much are you giving to their parents as a form of the one that are working in the public sector, the salary? 76,000 naira, you are yet to pay. You make life difficult for the parents, the one that's not even working with the government. To do the business is very difficult. So what are you saying is that you are making life difficult for their parents, and you are also making life difficult for the students? All these kind of policies are not helping the society. At the end of the day, the society that you are trying to say you are building the thoughts that will give problem for the society in the future. That's what you are building.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Olariwaju there. We have to leave the studios right about now. One last word from you, Austin, as we get out of the studios this morning.
Yeah, as we keep our fingers crossed, stakeholders in Edo election should apply the rule and abide by the rule and make the environment safe during and after the election.
All right.
God bless Nigeria.
All right. God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much, Austin, for doing this again with us on the Break It On Papers Review. And of course, that's the much we can take on the Papers Review this morning. Baba Fendo is up next. My name is GBOLABO. Famous School. Do have the best of the weekend. Bye for now.
The views and